Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to Miyagi Mornings, episode 75. So I want to stop and reflect on that for just a moment. So Miyagi Mornings began right after the fall workshop, and that I did here at 9 Mile Farm, where I had it was the biggest one we ever did. We had 65 students. We had, with staff and all, we were over 80 people. We found the capacity limit of my property there. We'll never go any bigger than that. That was it, man. There was no place left to park people that was good places to park people, where you're not damaging the land, etc. Anyway, and I came out of that, and when we usually do with the workshop, we kind of do a time where everybody that wants to talk stands up and says something they're taking away from it. And I said I heard so much inspiration in this one that I'm going to do more. And one of the things I decided I was going to do was Miyagi Mornings. Didn't have a name for it yet, but I knew I was going to do something new and something that I would not be like a project. It would be an ongoing thing. And this just kind of spun out of that. 75 episodes ago. I did the first Miyagi Mornings the Monday after the workshop. And guys, after a workshop, I'm worn out. And the reason I paused to say that is we're about to do it again. Next week, we will be doing a spring workshop. We'll be doing several builds, perennial garden system, which will focus on vineyard and things for making meads and wines and stuff like that, and herbs. And we'll also be doing another build that focuses on growing food for my livestock through the use of several different aquatic plants and some other systems that are going to use duck waste to feed ducks. It's a pretty cool thing. And so from one to the next, 75 episodes. And we're not stopping. We're going to keep rocking all the way on. And maybe we'll pause like this again in the fall, right before the next one, and see what a year of this looks like. So thank you to everybody that's participated. And again, the number one way you can participate in Miyagi Mornings is to get on MeWe. And that's where today's question comes from. This comes from Virginia. Cindy, I'm going to get to you next week because there won't be any Miyagi Mornings this coming week. So the following week we'll be back. And Cindy, I'm going to get to you. If you know who you are, you probably do. You have the last post there. Virginia said, you've talked about earning interest by buying Algorand. Could we have your viewpoint on earning interest on cryptos via BlockFi or similar websites? For example, 6% on Bitcoin and almost 10% on US dollar Tether. It varies from site to site. What say you? Okay. I'm going to break this into completely two separate things. I'm going to break it into interest on crypto that doesn't have a built-in reward system like Bitcoin. Okay, and I'm going to break it into to cryptocurrencies that have a built-in reward system like Algorand or ARK or Cardano or something like that. Proof of stake currencies where you earn money by holding the currency directly. So DeFi that Cindy's asking about is where your money is actually put up and loaned out. That's how they get interest. So they loan it to others, they take and keep some of the interest for themselves, and they pay the balance of that interest to you. We'll get to that in a second. The first one, though, like an Algorand or an ARK or a Cardano or any of these cryptos that are, what we call altcoins, be careful in the first place in the altcoin market. It does not have the stability, and I know price volatility is one thing, but stability is another of a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been around for 11 years. If somebody said I'm putting all my money into Bitcoin that I have, I might be like, I don't know if I would do that, but I would also say it's probably going to work out. If you threw all your money into, and I mean all your money, right, into an altcoin, I'd be really concerned for you because you just don't know. So I always use smaller amounts. I talked on the podcast about this today, the Expert Council show that went out. I have a very small amount in alts. I'm like 90% plus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I only have the amount of Ethereum that I have because when it first came out onto Coinbase, it was extremely cheap. And I'm like, I'll buy a bunch of it because it was cheap. And I had Bitcoin sitting there, so I bought it. So otherwise, I would be probably far more weighted to Bitcoin than I am. Okay? You should just understand that. Because that's going to play into the next part of this answer. But if you are holding an Algorand or Cardano or something like that, and you're like, but I just hold it on Coinbase and they pay me 6% or whatever. Get it off of Coinbase. Get it off of the exchange. Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? There will be two different types of currencies like this. There'll be ones where you must hold them in their native wallet. That would be ARK. ARK is a delegated proof of stake. You have to vote in a delegate, etc. And so you need the ARK wallet. It is literally about a 60-second process to install it and set it up. And it'll be a little learning curve on voting for a delegate. Not hard to do. Get it done. On other cryptos, for instance, Cardano and Algorand, You can either hold it on the native wallet and take care of it yourself, or you can hold it in a software wallet like Exodus, where it's done for you, but you still hold your own private keys, which means no one else has any access under any circumstances to your cryptocurrency. That's what you want, okay? And I'll get to why, one of the big reasons why, in a moment. But do not hold any currency that you do not have to hold on an exchange, Because when you hold them on an exchange, they hold the keys. You don't have any cryptocurrency. You have a right to a certain amount of cryptocurrency they're holding on your behalf. And I don't like that. And in the condition of like a Cardano or whatever, there's no benefit to this to you. This doesn't benefit you at all. You could use Exodus and give up a little bit of your interest, so what? But you still own your own private keys. And if you just like the convenience of a multi-currency wallet, you're willing to give up a little bit, who cares, right? Or you could get the actual wallet, take care of it yourself, and maybe do a little bit better on the interest rate, but not that much, honestly. Either one's fine. Or if you're like with Arc, then Arc, you need to park it inside its own wallet and delegate a person. So that's all good and well, but there's no reason to hold any of those things like that on an exchange. When we get to BlockFi, we're in a little bit different of a situation. Still don't like it. Because it still works, is it an exchange? Well, some of them are and some of them aren't, right? Some of them are straight up, all they are is about this type of financial scheme. And don't think that scheme is a bad word. It's just a way of doing things, right? And so the way BlockFi works is you deposit money into an account. They're a lot like a bank account without FDIC insurance, though, of course. And they take your money, your crypto, and they loan it to another party. And if you read everything BlockFi, for instance, says, and they're like the biggest game in the business doing this, they are very clear about their security protocols, and it all sounds wonderful. And I'm sure they make best effort to do exactly what they say they do. They are a licensed business. So your money is probably safe in the lending scheme portion of this alone, right? They are probably using smart contracts, and they have the ability to basically recall loans, etc., if they think there's a problem, etc. But when you get into loaning money, I don't know if you know this or not, sometimes people can't pay it back. Sometimes no matter what you do, there's an old saying, you can't get blood from a stone. When you work with a company like BlockFi, if they lend enough money to enough parties, that alone mitigates the risk. So if my money's in a pool and there's a counterparty, BlockFi, taking some of the risk, sharing it against thousands of people like me, and they're loaning to thousands of people on the other side, and Bill doesn't pay his bill, right? And unless he owes like 1 million Bitcoin or something like that, it's not that big a deal, and they're still going to be able to make it right on the other end. It's not like a Ponzi scheme where you got to have more money come in and more money go out. You have a real transactional relationship going on and some mitigation. Being able to earn money on Bitcoin, I like. And as of right now, I don't know a way that I can hold Bitcoin, earn interest on it, and maintain complete possession of my private keys, okay? I don't know a way to do that right now. So if I really felt that I really wanted to earn income on my Bitcoin holdings, the most attractive thing that I see is a BlockFi type model, right? That seems to be working pretty well for a lot of people and has for a fairly decent amount of time already. This is my concern. One of the things that I love about cryptocurrency is, let's say the United States government, for whatever reasons decides we're going after Jack Spirko. Well, the first thing they're going to do is drop my little social security number into their little seeking database, and they're going to discover every asset they can with my name on it that they have access to. If my money's sitting in Coinbase or my money's sitting on BlockFi and they've done KYC, I just might pop up in that list. And then they can go to a BlockFi, they can go to a Coinbase, they can go to any of these exchanges or lending services or places that hold your money on your behalf and say, here is a legal document stating that you must turn this person's assets over to us or that you must freeze them. Got it? That can happen. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, that's never going to happen to me. Everybody that it happens to thought it would never happen to them. We've had people attacked just because of the size of certain deposits or transfers looked like a pattern. This shit happens, right? Look it up if you doubt me. So you could be just doing some stuff in your bank account, moving some money around, but they think that you're trying to stay under a reporting requirement or something just because the numbers worked out that way, and all of a sudden they have a suspicious activity report, and all of a sudden they're looking into your taxes. Maybe they you accidentally show up on an audit, and you see what I'm saying? And I know people who have had their assets seized by state governments as well, like Massachusetts, for instance, because they're broke all the time, so they extort their own people. Now, let's say that the United States government figures out exactly how much Bitcoin I have, exactly how much Ethereum I have, exactly how much Bitcoin Cash I have. They know I have it. And they say, give it to us. No. We're going to take it. Go ahead. We're going to seize it. Go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead. You see how that works? If you're sitting in some form of place where you have a custodial account, meaning there's a custodian over your money, and the government comes after you and they look to lock or seize your assets, there it is, like a giant ball in the sky, slowly moving with missile trackers on it. If you're holding your own keys, I don't know what you're talking about. What key? I lost it. You understand what I'm saying? When you go into a DeFi model, from what I can see on the outside, because I haven't done this, in full disclosure on that, you're now moving into a place where you have a custodial managed account. Now, if it could be done some way like what Polarity does. What Polarity does amounts to, it's almost like a cloud-based software wallet where you hold your own keys. This is this is not a DeFi, this is a DEX, a decentralized exchange. So if you could create an environment where I control my keys, and I can truly withdraw my money and stop earning interest anytime you want. And I can do that without saying, my name is Jack Spirkle and I live at and here's all my digits. If I can do that, I might be interested. However, I would be very suspect to that because it doesn't make sense. Unlike fiat dollars, you can't print more Bitcoin. So it's not like they can take my money and print more money to loan against like a bank does. So that's how banks are. Banks don't actually loan your money out. They hold your money, and if a bank's holding $1 million, they can loan out $9 million that doesn't exist. This is one reason cryptocurrency makes sense, because you can't freaking do that. Well, that would make it very difficult for somebody to lend against your crypto if you maintained custody, if they didn't have any custody over it. So I see an inherent privacy weakness. I see an inherent defense against the state or creditors or anybody else problem there. Let's say somebody sues you. And in discovery, they find that you have these accounts. See what I'm saying? Where if you're holding it in, it's money that exists, even if you know they have. You can't make the person give it to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. This is why, if I were going to do this, and as of right now, I am not. I think there's enough appreciation in Bitcoin that there's other ways I can make some money than risking this. But if I were going to do it, I certainly wouldn't take all my Bitcoin and put it into something like DeFi. I would, or BlockFi, I guess is what it's called. Maybe 10%. Maybe 10%. But I want the majority of my crypto at all times directly under my control, where the entire response to give us your crypto is go screw yourself in the butt with a rusty cheese grater twice. Bye-bye. But we want it. I want an angel. And I want a rainbow farting unicorn. And I want my angel to slide down the rainbow anytime I have a wish and grant me a wish. But I'm not getting what I want, and you aren't either. There's a beauty to that in cryptocurrency. And when you hold your wealth on an exchange, you might as well be holding your wealth in a bank account. Understand that. Again, for now, the only exception I know to that is Polarity. I think there are other DEX exchanges that have a similar way that the wallet works. And guys, if you want an exchange that's okay to hold some of your money on because you want to keep it there for trading or whatever, or maybe it's just convenience, then that's what I would do. But for earning rewards, I don't think you can do that there. If you have rewards-based crypto, get it into a native wallet or a wallet that's non-custodial that supports rewards. Take care, guys, and we will get back with you later.